Most people believe building a strong muscular body requires a fully equipped gym, machines, cables, a dozen different exercises for every muscle group. The Soviet Union spent decades proving otherwise. Their athletes won more Olympic medals than any nation in history. Their soldiers could outlast and outwork almost anyone on the planet. And the training behind all of that came down to a handful of exercises. No machines, no cables, no gym. When Soviet training manuals started surfacing in the West after the Cold War, coaches and researchers were stunned. Not because the methods were complex, because they weren't. 3 movements in particular stood out. 3 exercises that collectively cover the entire body. And once you understand them, they change the way you think about training completely. In 1915, a Russian cavalry officer named Alexander Zass was captured by Austrian forces during World War I and thrown into a prison camp. He was expected to waste away like everyone else. Instead, he walked over to the iron bars on his cell window, grabbed them with both hands, and started pulling. Not pulling to escape, pulling to train. He pressed outward against the bars, he pulled inward, he pushed up and pushed down, changed angles, changed positions, day after day, with no weights, no equipment, nothing but the iron he was already caged behind. By the time the war ended, he had escaped 3 times and built a physique that nobody around him could explain. He went on to become one of the most famous strongmen in Europe under the stage name The Amazing Samson, bending iron bars with his bare hands, snapping chains off his chest, carrying horses on his back. But the exercises that built him were developed with nothing. Here's the version that works without prison bars. Stand in a door frame, grip both sides at chest height with your palms pressing outward. Now pull inward as hard as possible, like trying to pull both sides of the door frame toward each other. Hold that contraction for 7 to 10 seconds. Release, that's 1 rep. Now change the angle. Grip lower, around hip height, and pull inward again, then grip overhead and pull down. 5 positions total, 2 sets each. Here's why this works when normal exercises don't. A standard row or lat pull down moves through a range of motion. The tension changes constantly. Easier at the start, harder in the middle, easier again at the end. With an isometric pull, there is no movement. The muscles are pulling against something that will not move, which forces maximum fiber recruitment the entire time, not just part of it. Zass built a back and arms that beat every barbell-trained strongman in Europe without a single barbell rep. Not because he was special, because the method was. Think about it like trying to bend a steel rod with your hands. There is no movement, just every muscle loaded against a fixed object. That creates more total tension than any rep-based exercise can produce. This replaces every pulling exercise in a standard program. Rows, lat pull-downs, bicep work, all of it covered in 1 movement against a door frame. 3 times a week, 5 positions, 2 sets of 7 to 10 second maximum effort pulls. The whole session takes under 8 minutes. This is the same principle the No Gym Warrior program is built on. Tension over complexity, results over equipment. The full 12-week system is in the description. Soviet Special Forces, Spetsnaz, did not train in gyms. Selection happened in forests, barracks, and open fields. And one of the standard tests was the pistol squat, a single leg squat to full depth, performed cleanly and repeatedly under nothing but body weight. No barbell, no squat rack, just 1 leg, full range of motion, and every ounce of body weight loaded onto it. Here's how to do it. Stand on 1 leg, extend the other leg straight out in front of you, parallel to the floor. Squat down on the standing leg until the back of the thigh meets the calf. Stand back up, switch legs. That's the movement. The first time most people try this, they fall sideways immediately. That's not a failure. That's the exercise revealing something important. A regular squat divides body weight across 2 legs. The pistol squat puts all of it on 1, which means the quad, hamstring, and glute are working roughly twice as hard. But the bigger factor is stability. The ankle, knee, and hip are now controlling the entire movement in 3 dimensions, without the other leg compensating. Every stabilizing muscle that a barbell squat ignores is suddenly being forced to work. Start with an assisted version. Hold a door frame or a pole. Use it just enough to stay upright while the legs do the real work. Reduce the grip over time. Most people reach a full unassisted pistol squat within 4 to 6 weeks of consistent work. Here's the psychological piece that makes this more effective than a standard leg day. With a normal set of squats, the number is already set before the first rep. 10 reps, 15 reps. That number sits in the back of the mind the whole time, and it's exactly what makes people stop early. With the pistol squat, the focus is entirely on 1 leg at a time, the next rep, not the total. the number disappears. The effort stays, but the mental resistance fades. This replaces the entire leg day: quads, hamstrings, glutes, calves, and stabilizers, all in one movement. No equipment required. 3 times a week, 3 sets of 5 each leg. When those reps feel clean, add a 3-second slow descent on every rep. Work toward 8, then 10. That's when the legs start changing visibly. Soviet Sambo was developed in the 1920s as the official combat system of the Red Army. It pulled from judo, wrestling, and dozens of regional fighting traditions from across the Soviet Union. And one drill appeared in nearly every variation of Soviet wrestling training, not because coaches agreed on everything, but because this one movement was impossible to argue with. They called it the Iron Spine Drill, the wrestler's bridge. The reasoning was practical. A wrestler who couldn't be thrown had to be able to arch, resist, and absorb force through the entire back of the body at once. Crunches don't train that, but the bridge does. Here's how to do it. Lie on the back with feet flat on the floor, shoulder width apart, hands placed beside the head, palms down. Push the hips upward and arch the body until the weight is resting on the feet and the top of the head. A full arch from heels to crown. Hold it. The neck, traps, upper back, lower back, glutes, and hamstrings are all working at the same time under compression. Nothing is supporting the midsection. The moment focus drops, the arch collapses. That constant threat of collapse is exactly what keeps the muscles firing throughout every second of every set. This is the gap in almost every training program. Core work almost always trains the front of the body, six-pack muscles, hip flexors, obliques, but the entire posterior chain, the back of the body from the base of the skull down to the hamstrings, is almost never targeted directly. The wrestler's bridge fills that gap in a single movement. No machine does this. Every machine has a seat, a pad, a backrest, something taking the load off the body from behind. The bridge has nothing supporting it. That's the point. This replaces lower back training, glute work, hamstring work, and neck strength. 4 things most programs try to train separately, all in one held position. 3 times a week, 3 sets of 20 to 30 second holds. When that starts feeling manageable, add a slow rocking motion, shifting weight forward and back while holding the arch. Same position, significantly harder, and exactly how Soviet wrestlers used it. 3 exercises: upper body pulling, lower body strength, posterior chain, and core. The full body covered with no equipment, no gym, and no complicated programming. If the schedule is tight, here's the split. Monday, Zass isometric pull, 8 minutes, 5 positions, 2 sets each. Wednesday, Spetsnaz pistol squat, 10 minutes, 3 sets of 5 each leg. Friday, wrestler's bridge, 8 minutes, 3 sets of 30-second holds. That's less than 30 minutes of training across an entire week. The Soviets didn't build better athletes by doing more. They built better athletes by understanding what actually mattered. The No Gym Warrior program is built on exactly that. 12 weeks, no gym required, link in the description.